Okay, so back in the Great Depression era, necessity was, and really still is, the mother of invention when it comes to many things, and especially when it comes to stretching your food budget, stretching a meal when there are lean times for some people, or sometimes people just want to try something different. So, yesterday, now I record a week earlier, so yesterday was actually November 1. It was a Saturday afternoon. And I said, "Oh, I don't know. I want something a little different. I want something kind of sort of based on a Great Depression meal." And I threw this thing together and it was really, really good. My only regret was that I didn't think fast enough after a couple of folks ate them up to take a picture. I didn't think of it. But if I do in the future, I'll take a picture of it. But you could just imagine, Chan, what are you talking about? I took a simple can of Bumblebee albacore solid white tuna. I'm just giving you the exact thing that I worked with. Okay. I didn't even drain it, but I did flake it up in a bowl. I said, how can I stretch this a few ways? And it turned out great. I was so shocked. So I looked around in my refrigerator. I says, well, you can make a fish cake out of it. A fish cake out of it? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I took that. Anyway, my version of a fish cake. Okay. And with that, I had added that to a beaten egg. Okay. I had some breadcrumb. Everything I did, I eyeballed. Okay, so I can't say take a cup of this, a dash of that. I just eyeballed it. So a beaten egg was added to the flaked, non drained tuna. You're probably saying, why didn't you drain it? I'll tell you why. Because I added the flavored breadcrumb, but I also happened to find a handful of cooked rice, leftover cooked rice. This is where having some leftover cooked rice or cooked potatoes or anything of that nature could come in handy. So in this case, I added the cooked rice to it. Now, mind you, none of the things that I put together I had to cook. Of course, the egg is part of the recipe and I will end up frying it. So what I did was I put all that together. I put a little, seasonings to taste, whatever you want, because the breadcrumbs were plain. So I added some, Italian seasoning and just a little bit of adobo. Anyway, I didn't get too fancy on it, but I happen to have those ingredients. So I said, why not? Right. So I put it all together. I mixed it up all together and I made, let's just say patties of fish cakes. All right. And they look pretty cute. Okay. So I said, let me just I took one little bit of oil. I do not like greasy food. All right. This is where I guess I'm different from a lot of people. I don't know. It just doesn't go, it just goes against my grain. I don't feel well, is what I'm trying to say. If I eat anything that's too fried or too greasy, it's just not for my body. So I'm not saying that doesn't taste good, okay? But what I did was I used very minimum amount of oil. In other words, one turn of the skillet. All right. So I formulated, what was it, 4 or 6 patties? I forget offhand. I think I got six out of it, 6 patties out of it. And I let the oil get, very warm. And then, I put on the little fish cakes. Now, some of it broke apart. I'm not going to lie. I let it brown on one side and I flipped it over and I let it brown on the other side because except with the exception of the egg that you're entering in there, which is kind of sort of the glue for this whole thing, the rest of it is already cooked. So there's nothing there that is not, cooked except for that egg. But you want to know something. When you make something like this, the sky is the limit as to what kind of flavors you want to add. If a person could have added some shredded cheese perhaps in there, a person could add shredded cheese into that mixture that you put together. So I did that. So wait, it came out beautifully. They did break apart a little bit, not gonna lie. So if you don't want it in the form of a patty, you could just leave it as there goes the bird clock. It is 7 a.m. the week prior. 7 a.m. standard time. We just changed the clock in real time a week prior. you're listening to this. So it tends to break apart, but the flavor was so yummy. So I put it to the side, right? I said, you know what? I want to make an old fashioned roux or gravy to pour on top of this. And that's okay. So I took the remainder of what was in the skillet grease wise. I added a couple of tablespoons of butter to that. The pan was still very, very hot. Well, not hot, very, very warm. And I lowered the temperature a little bit. And then what I did was I toasted the flour a second or two. I just eyeballed the whole thing. See, that's the trick. I like to eyeball it. I'm not one of those, with the exception of baking, I eyeball everything else. I guess I could call myself a skillet queen. So I put, a couple of tablespoons of the flour, toasted it up. And I also, was working together with the whisk and the butter. And then I slowly and gradually added milk to it. And right away, I kept whisking it. Right away, it came into a silky, nice gravy. Okay. So it's kind of like not pure white colored gravy, but a little bit of brown because I worked with the caramelized leftovers from, what I cooked in there, fish cakes. It had color to it, so to speak. It was so good. I ladled it over the fish cakes, even though some of them fell apart. It doesn't matter. Who cares? It was so delicious. I said, wait a minute. It hit me like a ton of bricks. This is a classic example of taking a lot of nothings and turning it into a quite a bit of something, and it just never dawned on me to take a picture or anything, but it hit me that I really enjoyed that. And I may make me some again in the near future. And when I do, you can be rest assured that I will take a photo of it. It came out really deliciously. So I just thought I'd mention this little recipe idea for you. It's so inexpensive. Most of us carry in our pantries breadcrumbs. Most of us keep cans of tuna. Most of us, we get creative or we have some leftover rice. And I'm wondering, I would imagine that if you don't have the rice, that instant mashed potato would work very, very nicely with this type of a recipe. And I don't even consider it a recipe. I consider it a throw together. It was just like an impromptu throw together. It was fast, it was delicious, it felt like a total treat, and it was really, really good. Just using the stuff I already had on hand. That is the trick. Using the stuff you already have on hand and turning it into something that maybe you don't do often. I don't oftentimes make a fish cake. How many of you out there make some sort of a fish cake, whether it's tuna or some people use salmon to make your fish cake or whatever? And the canned ones come in, the canned tunas and salmon comes in very, very conveniently to do such a thing. Anyway, just thought I'd share that with you, and wishing you a wonderful day, rest of your remainder of this weekend. The time is going so very, very fast. Have you done all your Thanksgiving shopping? Did you give it a whirl? Are you all set for the big day in a couple of weeks? Or are you still planning it? Let us know where in the comment section below. Have a great day. Take good care of yourself and your amazing family. Super thanks are forever appreciated. Thank you.